Well, here we are, a couple of days removed from that crazy head-to-head beta weekend. Let's talk about it. I'm gonna start with KOF 15 because, spoiler, I don't really have that much to say about it. The casual match feature didn't work for me in the previous beta, but it did this time though. A few errors occurred here and there, but it wasn't anything terrible or bothersome. The netcode still seemed pretty good. Like, I had few laggy matches, but that's par the core, especially when people think that rollback netcode is the miracle cure for their trashy AT&T internet. And if dissing AT&T made you unsub from me or dislike this video, comment below and let me know so I can laugh even harder at you. Speaking of laggy matches, those of you who caught my second stream or watched the VOD on my stream archives channel, I did have some laggy matches back to back on the second day when I streamed the beta, but of course you saw I fixed it up and everything was better when I did a region filter, so good job SNK! The PSN debacle didn't seem to happen this time, which was a good thing, so hopefully people who got robbed last time with the last beta got some decent playtime this time around. My only issue with the beta has nothing to do with netcode, characters, gameplay, none of that. It's about the exclusivity of it. With all this talk about crossplay, you'd think that SNK would at least let the Xbox players test it out. I've already given my thoughts about data mining and the other underhanded dealings that many people speculate are the major reasons for the absence of a PC beta, but if you don't know, simply put, on one hand, hacking, data mining, and piracy are nothing new. SNK should have more than a clear-cut enough idea about these things and should produce countermeasures. There's been plenty of them out there, some that even involve people basically telling on themselves. Come on, like, set some traps, SNK. Now, on the other hand, I'm not gonna just give all the flack to SNK because you hackers and leakers, oh yeah, I'm coming for y'all too. But this just shows how much hackers and leakers can ruin things for many players. Not only do they spoil surprises, but they also play a part in ruining opportunities for others to participate in things like an open beta. But yeah, that's all I really gotta say about the KOF 15 open beta 2. My final grade for it is an A. What can I say? Now let's talk about DNF Duel. Whew boy. Let me go ahead and get it out the way. The day one disaster. Clearly, they were not fully ready for the wave of players, as the player match lobbies were the sole method of playing matches, and they just weren't working at all. Now, thankfully, they put the servers in maintenance, and given credit where credit's due, they gave us something to do while we were waiting and had us playing matches against the CPU. I would have gave them bonus points for that, but then they kinda screwed it up. Because if by some chance you don't know, when we had those CPU matches when the servers were under maintenance, you couldn't pick your own character. It was totally random pick. Even when you set your character on your profile, it was a random pick. Even though I like every character on this roster to some significant degree, I really wanted to learn my overall favorite first, and that was Berserker. In terms of the net play, here are the positives. First of all, if there were any laggy matches that I had, I don't remember them. Like, roughly every single match that I played flowed well. There was another issue, and we were getting to it, but far as like just a natural flow and everything, smooth matches, I don't remember having one terrible one. Like, not even one. If I did, I forgot it. Second of all, I didn't have any issues trying to queue up for matches at the stations like I do sometimes in Guilty Gear Strive. Those of you that played this game even a little bit have probably come into a situation where you're trying to get at the battle station, but it's saying it's an error despite the fact there's nobody standing there. So it's good to know that DNF at least has fairly solid lobbies in terms of like queuing up for matches. And speaking of Strive lobbies, I like the whole chibi visuals thing over the whole pixel thing that Strive went with. Credit where credit's due, Strive did at least give us customizable options. Some of them look cool for like your avatars, and now I think they even stepped it up to where you can customize the look of like personal lobbies, so that's really cool too. And honestly, I hope DNF Duel tears a page from Strive and does that too. And judging by what I assume is a currency when you look in the upper right corner of the main menu, I'm pretty sure we're gonna have unlockables. I'm pretty sure that's currency. The negatives, and really they all kind of tie together, a load of random disconnects in the middle of matches that weren't even laggy. Like, you know how most cases you're playing a game online and it lags and it gets worse and worse and worse and then the system gives up and boots you out? Well, recall, I don't remember any laggy matches I played in DNF Duel. So imagine like everything looks fine, it's looking smooth, nothing suspect, nothing crazy, and then skoosh, disconnect. I initially thought this happened because the lobby owner would disconnect and close the lobbies, whether they closed the lobby manually or whether they closed the application or whatever happened that caused them to disconnect. However, seeing there were instances where a match ended in a DC but didn't knock me out the lobby, it's clearly not always the case. Also, I would get booted numerous times moments after entering a lobby or creating one, which basically tells me that the lobbies were a little bit unstable. My thoughts about the gameplay: I initially thought this would be a game that I would love visually, but take issue with in terms of gameplay, and I'm glad that that was not the case. The gameplay for this game is crazy, which shouldn't come as a surprise considering the parties involved with making it. Granted, there were matchups and moments that annoyed me. I was never bored when playing this game at any moment, honestly. On a more ridiculous note, DNF Duel apparently reinvigorated this whole discussion about simple inputs killing fighting games, and I'm not gonna dive deep into that because I'm sick and tired of talking about it. I just wish this topic would just die and rot because it doesn't progress anything and it doesn't help anyone. I've seen people claim that the Awakenings, which are the supers in DNF, saying that they are a total copy-paste of the Fatal Blows and X-Rays from Mortal Kombat and the Rage Drives in Tekken, to which I say, no. While they are all high damage moves with super simple inputs that are available when a character falls below a certain threshold of health, doing raw wake-up Awakenings in DNF will rarely go well. They don't have invincibility on startup, and you have to land them by hit confirming, whiff punishing, mixing up the opponent, and so on. All I'm trying to say is that that mechanic is not the scrubby, brainless, get out of jail free mechanic comeback card that people think it is. The grappler might be an exception, even though I still don't think his is invincible on wake up. I could be wrong. I just feel like his awakening is one frame, aka super fast, and it's a command grab. I've tried to hit him out of it on his wake up several times and he grabbed me each and every single time, so maybe he might be the exception. If it is, that's kind of crazy. Everybody doesn't have these invincible freaking awakenings, but he has one. Okay. If I am mistaken, please comment below because I didn't really get a chance to explore that move like I wanted to because there wasn't a training mode. Speaking of, that was another complaint I saw being hurled all over the place. The lack of a training mode, which I personally am 50-50 on. On one hand, as a kid growing up in the 90s and going to arcade booths, there was no training mode. Even playing fighting games with my cousins who were basically my inspirations to really play these games like this, I wasn't always allowed to do practice mode. Like, I remember it like it was yesterday. They would say the same thing. If you don't got it, get it. If you don't get it, figure it out. Oh my God. I say all this to paint the picture as to why I probably wasn't too broken up about it, because from that point on, when it came to many things, I just loved learning on the fly. On the other hand, I know that not everyone else is capable of learning fighting games on the fly. This genre is one of the most difficult in all of gaming to get into. Though we did get some explanations about the gameplay in videos and PDFs before the beta went live, there's a segment of the player base that learns better through tutorials and practice mode. Seeing that this is a fresh new game, I'm a bit surprised that this beta didn't at least have a tutorial mode, but I mean, it happened. The improvements and fixes that I'd make to the gameplay, this one's obvious if you've seen like it on Twitter or anywhere else, then get the infinites out, obviously. I know Aiding also developed UMVC3, but I don't think infinite combos would be cool in DNF Duel. And the other thing, maybe increase the exhaust duration by 1 second more. Now, if they didn't do this, I wouldn't be broken up about it, because I actually like this meter mechanic as it isn't like many other fighting games out there right now. In fact, I think the indie fighting game Blazing Strike that's also coming out next year has a similar mechanic, but when you overextend your stamina meter, you'll be left in a groggy state. And I don't think DNF should go that far. It'll make the game a little too unforgiving. But yeah, I like the fact that a lot of the stronger moves in this game are tied to the MP gauge and you can't just spam them for free. It's just now they gotta tack on to some of these other non-meter attacks like the infinite that the grappler has and find some way to tweak that, which I'm pretty sure they got it. It's not that hard to do. But yeah, my DNF duel experience was a wacky, trippy roller coaster because that ridiculously rocky start had me freaked out at first, but thankfully it was followed up with some hype and a whole lot of fun. Again, I like every character that's been revealed for this game thus far, and sure I have my favorites, and sure there were matchups that annoyed me, but I have yet to see a character that I think is just downright bad, visually or in gameplay. A few more were revealed in a DNF trailer that came out during the weekend of the beta, and I cannot wait to see what these characters can do. My final grade for the DNF Duel Open Beta is a B-. The ironic thing about this is that if you asked me which beta I enjoyed playing more, I'd actually pick DNF Duel. That game was just so much fun. KOF was still fun, and I think I was less enthusiastic about it this time around because I had already experienced it, while DNF Duel was fresh. Also, while the batch of characters in the second beta for KOF was solid, I personally enjoyed the first batch of characters more. And finally, another piece of irony, I think the lack of a training mode actually made DNF more fun for me. Like with a fresh new game, going in with no tutorial or training mode, and having to learn and discover cool stuff on the fly, added an extra layer of exploration to the game, which was fun for me. Still, fun wasn't the sole factor by which I graded these betas. KOF 15 was definitely more functional overall, and it actually improved on the complaints that I had last time. If DNF Duel didn't have that sloppy start and the random disconnects during matches, I would have given it an A+. But still, overall, both of these games were fun. I'm looking forward to playing both in the future. But yeah, that's all I got for this one. Let me know what y'all think. Did you play one game? Did you play the other? Did you play both? Did you watch someone play one, the other, or both? Let me know in the comments below, and until next time, this is Chrysalid signing off. Y'all take care of yourselves. Be safe out there. See ya. Come on, alright. Okay, so I could not DP either one of those freaking. I'm gonna start calling them monster mashes. Dang it. Grass. I'm grass. Good God. Nope. Y'all gonna stop getting cute with this freaking kick, man. That only works like if you're above them. Or if it's somebody big, like I guess Crusader. It must look so cheap, but like you have to know how to set everything up. I hate that move. Nope. I missed the whip punish. I wonder. Not really useful. Maybe meaty. It might be useful as a meaty setup, but I don't know about anything else. Oh, you funny. You funny. Ah, sucker! I knew there was a way to bait those out. Ah, punish. Doop, doop. Ah, dang it! That explosion. I should have stayed back. That probably murdered me. No. Clip that! Clip that! Clip that! Clip that! Somebody, please! Please! Clip that! Please! I beg you, please!